Perfect.
We are live.
Very excited to have you guys back, and I'll be the first one to welcome you guys back to the Standing on Business podcast. I'm here with I'm happy to be here with my our co-host, the one and only Jake Baker.
Yo.
Today is the 76th day of our 120-day challenge. Mm-hmm. And I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. How about you?
$1 million.
Perfect.
Standing on business.
And I wanted to give Jake a super big shout out today. It's been 14 days, 0 alcohol strong.
Let's go.
That's the definition of standing on business, especially because last weekend was our first ever live performance that did take place at a bar in Palm Springs.
Absolutely.
How was that? What was that like for you?
Dude. So, all in all, great time. I had a blast. I would be lying if I said it wasn't a bit of a anxiety-filled night for me. Being around everyone who was drinking beers, me wanting to drink beers, but not necessarily wanting to, but just, I feel like since I've been 17 years old, I haven't really, there's never been a time in my life where I was like, I want to drink a beer, but nah, let me just chill it, you know? So I've never had that discipline in my life.
Never made the conscious decision to just not drink.
No. So I don't know why I did make the conscious decision to not drink for 2 months, but as you guys may have heard on the last episode, February 1st was my first day stopping alcohol for 2 months, just to give myself a kick in the ass. I was drinking every day, and I just wanted to clear my mind, reset my tolerance level a little bit. I got to the point, I could slam damn near half a bottle and just be chilling, like, that's pretty not good.
Yeah,
dude.
no, I'm right there with you.
I heard that, huh? But no, so yeah, it was a bit of a anxiety attack, I would say, being there and not feeling sedated. That was the only problem. It wasn't that I wanted to drink so bad. It was the simple fact that I never go out and not get fucked up. So it's like, but that's a good thing for me to realize, especially the feeling that I was feeling. I was like, dude, I don't want this to have a grip on me like that, It literally I wasn't myself, for sure.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it a couple more times, but that is the point of this podcast. That is the point of us putting our faults in front of us, putting our progress in front of ourselves. That way we can actually track that. Because like you said, you've never actually told yourself you're not going to drink for a certain amount of time. You're not, like, now that you've told yourself and you have this goal, yeah. It's like you put this goal out in front of you and you want to achieve it, and you want to prove it to yourself.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to see how I can translate that to other things in my life, Like, it started with the gym, basically, telling myself I want to get in the best shape of my life. Slowly but surely getting there, and then seeing the momentum that it had, I was like, okay, well, how can I keep this up, stop drinking alcohol? Because it's like, how can you go to the gym and try to get in the best shape of your life when you're drinking every day,
Yeah.
So, like, little tweaks that I can make my life better. Put the reps in, man.
You gotta put the reps in for sure, definitely.
Repping right now.
Yeah, I like that. I'm really proud of you, man. I do want to ask, do you think you're prepared for the next 6 weeks? I know this is an 8-week challenge, 2 months. Yeah. 2 weeks in, so you got 6 weeks left.
Yeah, I'm ready for it, man. I've never felt as clear-minded as I do today.
Really?
Absolutely. So I'm ready for it.
I'm prepared.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's get it. I'm ready to take it on.
I believe in you. I think you're gonna do a great job. I think you're gonna handle these next 6 weeks very, stone cold. And I'm really proud of you for these last 2 weeks, because that's probably gonna be the hardest.
Yeah,
the first 2 weeks.
For sure. And the hardest part about it is actually like when I'm bored. That's when I really want to drink a beer or even hit a nicotine. It's been about 10 or 12 days since I've hit a nicotine.
Let's not get bored. Let's stay productive,
dude,
man. Let's stand on business, baby. Let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. But I also did challenge you to track your reps in the gym last 2 weeks ago, or 2 podcasts ago, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to see what your metrics. I want to ask, how has that affected your progress this far? How has that trickled into your now progress in the gym?
Actually, it helped me a lot. It helped me just seeing the visual numbers, right? Like, instead of trying to keep everything in my head, like, I'd get to the Smith machine, for instance, sometimes and be like, oh, well, what was I lifting last week? Or, oh, let's just throw it on there and just try. Let's see if this feels good. No, actually seeing the numbers of what I lifted last week and then trying to reach that progressive overload, right? Of, like, either hitting it the same weight for more reps or adding more weight for the same reps. Something, just little bits of progression is all I'm aiming for. And that little bit of a challenge that you gave me really helped open my eyes to that. So I highly suggest that if people are going through things kind of blindly in life, like working out, eating healthier, dude, put the numbers down on paper, and it fuels you that much more. It helps the momentum for sure.
It's definitely, again, it's about the metrics. It's about tracking those numbers. When you track those numbers and the numbers are right in front of you, you see what you did, what that resulted to, and now how you can double that. Yeah. How you can, double weight gain or weight loss, or the amount of weight you're picking up, or the amount of money you're making if this is going into your business aspect. So that's a really huge part of the premise here on the podcast. I'm really excited to just track our metrics,
tracking, man,
and then seeing them at the end of this whole thing, and seeing where we can get where we can get improve and double up and 10x if when it comes time.
Let's go.
I'm really proud of you. So
thank you, bro. And then so also I wanted to ask you, because I did challenge you when you challenged me for the gym thing. I challenged you to go 7 days cold turkey with no alcohol, kick the booze for 7 days, right?
Yeah. What that wasn't. It wasn't a challenge.
There we go.
Me. I just didn't drink for a week.
Big guy.
But it was a challenge during the weekend.
Yeah.
Because I am a pretty avid drinker. I'm not gonna lie.
Like
probably,
our beers, huh?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
And I definitely can drink. So when it comes to the weekend, that's kind of my time, and I feel like I want to drink more so. And it was a tough challenge, but I couldn't do that to you. I couldn't, especially having you holding me accountable. It made it a lot more. More challenging, and held me accountable to that challenge too. Yeah. So, but it has been other than that, it has been a week of just really exciting stuff. A lot of progress in the DJ stuff. We actually did finally get that deal I've been talking about forever now closed.
Let's go.
So yeah, nice, super excited. Thank you. It's officially closed. So no more talking about that. We're moving on to the next one.
Let's go.
And we did my first DJ live set in Palm Springs.
Team High Fuse session. That was fire, bro.
Yeah, we definitely showed up, and we showed them what we're about. So
shout out to Bart's.
Yeah. Pico, dude, boy Andy Rue showing up. You guys did your guys' thing. Super exciting. Can't wait to do it again. Bring more tracks for all of you guys. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Zara Michaels. It's gonna be my last name, first name. And I'm going to be putting some clips up from last week, coming this Friday. Really excited about that. But there has been a couple other things, I've been working on as far as my mental health. That's kind of why we're here today. So I did mention I do struggle with ADHD. For as long as I can remember now, my parents have always told me, or always been kind of teased, oh, you have bad ADHD. You have you're the worst case of ADHD.
Yeah.
I'm I get it. I don't even know what that really means. I just live every day.
Yeah, you kind of just didn't even care about it, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm just
whatever.
Happy-go-lucky. I'm just really excited,
Yeah.
But and then we started to go into this. It wasn't until we started this 120-day challenge when I started to track my metrics, see where my performance was leading me to, and what exactly I was getting out of my efforts. Really, that I started to realize that I'm not producing as much as you would think. You would think that you would kind of produce while you're focusing on something like this. But my problem was I'm not really focusing. Yeah. I'm finding myself getting to my desk to work on some project, but then I think about, I need to do this for the podcast, or I need to do this for the DJ
My
set.
shirts need to be folded.
It doesn't make it any easier that I work from home, so I got to think about my laundry that needs to be done at all times of the day. So it's being a solopreneur. Yeah. You have to really manage your time, and for someone with ADHD and managing their time, it's really, really hard. So productiveness and mental health is really why, really what I'm excited to talk about today.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. I'm excited too.
Yeah. So I guess I wanted to ask, is there any mental health issues you've had to deal with that have affected you? But I guess before I ask your productivity, I want to ask the viewers, and I want to shout everybody out in the comments.
Yeah. Let's take a second to
thank you guys for showing up. We're definitely standing on business as much as we can. We definitely want to grow with every single one of you guys.
Let's go.
With the ADHD thing, I have been thinking maybe I can try everything. I've tried so many different things. I've tried mushroom pills, like the lion's mane and stuff like that. I've tried just a better sleep schedule. I've tried different things. I've actually even started talking to a therapist, mentioned, these issues that I have of, uncertainty and unfocused, and they actually suggested I talk to a psychiatrist about ADHD medication. I've always been kind of against those sort of like pharmaceutical drugs and stuff like that.
Right.
But I mean, I guess I don't really know what harm they can cause, and I don't know what good they can do until I try it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I wanted to ask everyone viewing, if they've had any issues with ADHD or any solutions they've found to it, or even any experience with ADHD medication, and what I can possibly expect, or if I should just stray away from it altogether.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a bit of a frowned upon thing to say, like, I don't want to take medication, which is like, cause like I was having this conversation with my brother the other day, and because he takes medication we basically have the same little disorder. For me, I've been told that I have bipolar disorder my whole life growing up. I've never seen a psychiatrist. I've never seen a doctor for it. But my mom was diagnosed as bipolar, and she's like, well, you have all the symptoms, this and that. And growing up, I never wanted to rely on a pill. Like, I never wanted to have something to depend on. And my little brother, on the other hand, my mom kind of got him at an early age dependent on a drug. And so I was at his house the other day, for instance.
What, he had a bipolar, or
I don't know. I think he has bipolar too, but he just has very bad anger. So me, I'm not, like, I don't get angry. I have high highs and low lows. Like when I'm riding a high, dude, I'm up there.
Yeah.
When I'm depressed, dude, I'm down there. So, things like that. Like those are the real only symptoms that I've encountered. And so anger wise, my brother has like anger issues when it comes to that. I don't know if it's bipolar or just anger issues in general, but long story short, my mom got him on medication at a very young age. So in his relationship now, I was over at his house and we're talking about mental health, whatever, and his girlfriend chimed in and said, yeah, Gabe is absolutely crazy without his medication. Like he depends on it.
Shout out that boy Gabe.
Yeah, young Gabe, young Baker. But yeah, so, and that really resonated with me because I was like, well, dude, like I told him, I was like, that's literally why I don't want to start taking medication, is because I don't want to become dependent on something. What happens if they stop making it? What happens if for whatever reason you can't get it? They have the power over you. Yeah. And so the thing I was kind of telling him was like, yeah, I get it. It probably does help. It probably helps sedate you or keep you focused, whatever. But my whole thing is I genuinely feel like we have the answers inside of us. Like I have whatever medicine or whatever pill, whatever it's going to do for me, I feel like I genuinely have the tools inside of me to deal with this disorder. It's just about me unlocking that like potential and like mastering myself, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. But I'm only one person. Like I also want to hear from you guys in the comments. Does it help? Like bipolar baby, like what happens? Like what? Am I bipolar?
Yeah, no, I definitely think like you said, you don't want to rely on a medication to bring you to normal, because then you just think like you got to use that to be normal. That was just our assumption, right? But I've read and looked into a little bit about what bipolar disorder is. I don't personally know. I don't deal with that. I don't think. I don't think, at least.
Yeah.
You guys tell me if I see my head.
Good for you, lucky guy. No.
No, but I did read a little bit into it. There's I guess apparently a chemical imbalance in one's brain that causes that may cause bipolar disorder, and so I guess there is. I guess if you start off young on medication, maybe you can be rebalanced with your chemicals in your brain that affect you that way.
Yeah. But my whole thing is, that would be amazing, but why if he doesn't take his pill? It just goes bam back to just that imbalance. Mm-hmm.
Maybe he just didn't.
There's no
your brother
law,
just didn't started soon enough, or it just didn't affect him in that way to where it was able to recalibrate.
There's no healing. There's no healing it. It's you have to be on it for the rest of your life, and that's what I don't like about it. But yeah.
Just real quickly, I did want to go back to the chat real quick. I asked you guys if you guys have any trouble hearing my mic or anything like that. How's the quality of the show, everything like that? We obviously want to bring you guys quality stuff. We can't thank you guys enough for following along on this journey of ours and just growing with us. But thank you so much. But I do want to shout out Whitney. We talked about medication saved my life. Some people can manage without meds, but people struggle. People can struggle.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Whitney, for sure.
Definitely. We really appreciate that. And I don't know, has the medication helped rebalance the chemicals, or even put you in a different, you know, do you need them as often as you did when you first started?
So what she said right there, she said, it depends on the medication you're on and the type of bipolar you have. So what does that mean? You're a test, like a test. They're just gonna be like, here, try this one and see if it works. Try this one, see, because like 90% of the time I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I'm saying? It's those times that I'm not, that they hit me hard. And I don't know. I just, that's another thing. I can't get around the whole like test subject, being a test subject. Like, okay, try this one. Like, why can't you just tell me? Like, you're a doctor. I know, but you're a doctor. You should tell me what is wrong with me and fix me.
I think.
Like, come on, man.
I think it kind of.
Doc.
It might actually work a little bit like. I think they actually do test you. They give you questions or some sort of. I've talked to some other people that have mentioned they have bipolar 2. They say it's not as bad as bipolar 1, but they say also that it's like a test. You get questioned and they ask you certain things. So they're going to know what bipolar you have. They're going to prescribe you the right medications. Bipolar 2, from what I understand, isn't as
like
frequent, or like isn't as control or overwhelming on somebody. You know, maybe that's why you're able to handle a little more. But you do have, you know, as we'll talk a little more about it, we'll go ahead and get deeper into that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you do feel like that does it affect your work? Does it affect your life, your relationships?
It definitely, so like I said, 90% of the time it doesn't, but it gets to the point, yeah, it will. So if I'm at work or something like that, and so for me, what I've realized is there's certain triggers for me, and it's not necessarily anything that I do. It's like if I'm in a relationship, like I didn't necessarily have the tools, I think, to deal with a proper healthy relationship because of like a chemical imbalance or whatever. So like certain things would just literally, like, for instance, I would hear trigger me, and I'll just like walk off a job or like whatever, you know, like just stupid things that like I wouldn't normally do
if it was otherwise.
And so I feel like that's been a big component to why I've been on this self-discovery journey of like not trying to jump into another relationship or searching for those things, because like I'm trying to master myself so I can become that best person.
It literally gives me chills how excited I am to talk about this, because it's something that people don't mention.
It does got chills.
I'm not even kidding. I have chills right now because we don't want to admit that we have issues, like any issues. Like, I don't want to tell you guys I have financial issues. I don't want to tell you guys I have mental issues. I don't want to tell you, but the moment we address these things is the moment it becomes a reality, and the first step to any type of recovery is acceptance.
The first step of anything, damn near,
is accepting the fact that you have an issue, or you there's something that could be addressed. So when we talk about this in the podcast, it makes me excited for anybody that doesn't have that opportunity to really talk about these things, or feels like they're too manly, or they're too strong, or they're too tough to admit the fact that they could possibly use some help to actually understand the characteristics and actually effectively manage and support their issues. But and that goes into like the mindset. What mindset is going to be able to create a stronger foundation for you to deal with your mental health issues, to help you cope and move forward. I think for one, gratitude.
Right. So establishing a strong mindset, you would say, is the first issue, or
establishing a strong mindset is going to be a big component to helping build a good foundation of your mental.
Now, so for someone like me, how do I establish a strong mindset? Like, if I don't know where to start, how do I, like, what do I do?
There's different, there's different things I can list off for you, and practicing gratitude is one of them, is where I want to start. Definitely journaling and getting yourself self-aware. When you write out your thoughts and things like that, you start to see it. It starts to become reality. It starts to become physical. You talk to yourself. You're talking to yourself. So journaling is really important.
I heard of a gratitude journal, actually. Anytime you feel, that throughout the day, you just document it or whatever. So that's interesting that you said that. That's pretty cool.
Definitely, yeah. And setting realistic goals. One day at a time. When you have a plan. I mean, even breaking it down into smaller goals and smaller, attainable tasks that lead up to the goal, the realistic goal.
Yeah.
And of course, I don't know if this is pretty obvious. I don't want to say obvious, but surrounding yourself with positivity, you know. And if you don't have, it's not easy to just call somebody that wants to talk about being positive or even you don't. A lot of people don't probably know too many people that are very positive.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, like
for sure.
So
it sounds so easy. Surround yourself with positive people. That's actually like one of the hardest things to do.
Almost, yeah. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't. It sounds simple, but it's probably not as simple. So I would recommend just watching podcasts, maybe finding a community on or offline. If it's offline and you do have somebody to help out, that's great. If it's online, you know, I'm sure anybody that's talking about self-improvement or, you know, just becoming better in general is a great start to kind of just realize where you can improve on. So just having that good community on or offline, really.
The Standing on Business community is becoming a strong force to be reckoned with. So
Definitely.
we want to keep growing this.
Yeah, we hope to be that community for some of our viewers and for anybody viewing now, really. Yeah. We really hope to be able to grow with you guys. You know, hopefully we provide enough value for you guys to invite some other friends to find value in it.
Yeah, share it, like, for sure.
We all just hopefully just grow together. I personally am dealing with things too, and I'd love to hear you guys' feedback on how I can grow and how I can be better. You know,
that's our thing. Is we need a community of people.
I'm not talking from a position of I've got it all figured out and I'm doing the best I can. I'm talking from a position where I need help. And
vulnerable. That's strong too. Being vulnerable, man. That's powerful.
I really do. I do need that personal help, that personal accountability.
Yeah.
And another really important thing that gets so easily forgotten about or undermined is just to celebrate your wins, celebrate your progress.
Yeah.
No matter how small it is. I mean, be kind to yourself. If it's, you know, every day you spend a couple minutes just self-reflecting on how well the day went, even if it was, you know, you just talk to yourself for a little bit of time.
You're struggling of getting out of bed, literally just taking a walk to the mailbox, seeing the sun for a second. Like, you know, give yourself that little pat on the back. Like, if you're in that crazy depressive state, you know, that you can't find the power to, like, really even want to do anything, make yourself go to the mailbox, go see the sun, go, you know, hear the birds chirping, go take a breath of fresh air.
It really is such a powerful thing to just break yourself out of your everyday, whatever it is your everyday is, and you feel in a fog, you feel in a mental, you know, mental just disruption. Do something out of the ordinary, not like crazy, like jump on a desk and start screaming, you know, crazy things, but like just go for a quick little walk or you know, do something that you would have never done before, but in a positive way. Right?
Absolutely.
I think that's strong. And for me personally, I deal with, like I said earlier, the whole time management. My ADHD really gets in the way of time management.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
And I wanted to talk about how implementing specific techniques can help. You know, what are some strategies you can suggest for bipolar disorder?
So for me, pay attention to your energy levels and mood swings. Schedule tasks during periods of higher energy and motivation. So for instance, when you know you're feeling good, make it a point to schedule things that are going to positively impact your life.
Yeah.
You know, we're not always, especially for someone who has bipolar, you're not always going to feel good. So take the advantage of the times that you do and make the most out of it.
When those highs are
high.
Yeah,
absolutely. Take the advantage of them.
I see this man do some crazy things sometimes, and it's mostly in like the early morning, early time of the day. These guy, he'll be jumping around, dancing around, celebrating. I don't know what.
I'm just happy to be here. Yeah. I'm just happy to be alive.
But it's definitely it'd be very effective if you hone that energy in to one.
That's very true.
Task or activity you can reflect all of that high energy onto. It's gonna be very powerful for you.
Absolutely.
Anything else you have?
Practice stress management. So like techniques such as exercise, relaxation, and maintaining a healthy lifestyle to minimize mood swings and improve overall functioning. So, you know, for instance, maybe meditate a little bit, I think genuinely it all starts with your health. Like you, I don't know if this is true or not, but I feel like a sick mind can't survive in a healthy body and vice versa. So it's like if your body's taken care of well and you're healthy and you're active and you're running and you're getting fresh air, it almost leaves no room for that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But if you're eating KFC every night for dinner, watching the Kardashians, whatever, you know, no hate towards the Kardashians.
Yeah,
Please don't cancel us. No,
I
I love you guys,
love
okay?
Kim.
Kylie.
Call me.
But so things like that I feel like really help. And so I have a question for you though, actually, Mike, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What do you do to help better manage your time with ADHD? Is there anything that you might be able to share with us?
I mean, really, what's really helped me and why it's kind of strayed me away from more so, I was considering medication for a couple days.
Yeah.
Not really very long, but then I started to think about what I have, what I have accomplished and what direction I have moved in positively. And I think with my planners, with my calendars, with even stop timers, timers on the app, have helped me organize tasks and deadlines.
For sure.
It's a major player in my progress, honestly. Priority list in front of me. Just helps me maintain my focus and helps me be able to see that there's a task at hand and the next task is not feasible, is not something I'm even going to consider until this task is done.
That's powerful, yeah.
It has to be physically written on paper. If it's
because if it's just floating around in your mind, our brain is our worst enemy sometimes, huh? It'll literally be like, no, you need to fold your shirts, Michael.
It can easily just get taken over and just overridden by my brain. If I was to just sit here and be like, I got my task manager in my head, like it's not going to work that effectively.
Dude, we all have one of these with a reminder app, a calendar app, a
Tasks,
notes app.
Notes.
Come on now, we need to be utilizing this technology that we have at our fingertips.
Yeah, I think for me also, breaking tasks into small. I think I just mentioned this kind of a little bit, but just breaking these tasks into more manageable steps to prevent feeling overwhelmed. Allow me to not only chunk my projects into sections, but better help me schedule my time around each project. I want to be able to chunk it down. I know that I have this much time, and it's going to be the first half of the project. The next half of the project is going to be scheduled for a little bit later. And by project, I just mean literally just coming up with a script or drawing up flyers for my website or working on organizing my music. Simple things that I'm supposed to be doing anyways, but I just manage them in a way that I need to chunk them down.
Yeah, time blocking kind of, right?
Time blocking, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And also what goes hand in hand with that is applying that to what's most urgent and what's just important. Obviously, important needs to get done, but what's urgent needs to be done first and immediately, and that needs to be the top of your priority list.
I like that.
I guess regardless of the specific condition, it's essential to tailor time management strategies to your individual needs and preferences. So experiment with different techniques. That goes for everybody. And find what works best for you, and don't hesitate to seek support from a therapist or even just a mental health professional. I think I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but if I didn't, I have been talking to a therapist, and that's what led me to think that, or led me to have the idea of taking medications, because it was a professional. I had just started telling them I'm having issues with focus. So it sounds like you have ADHD. Well, fuck, everybody's been telling me that all my life. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, what do you suggest, doc?
What do I do, doc?
Yeah. And so he did suggest that I talk to a psychiatrist. Apparently they're two different things, psychiatrist and a therapist. But it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Like I said before, it's not... You're not too manly. You're not too tough. You're not too any of these things. It's actually more tough and more manly to address these things.
Absolutely.
And be real with yourself.
Absolutely. I watched my dad, for instance, just quick off topic, but I watched my dad my entire life. I've never seen my dad go to the doctor. Only once I took my dad to the hospital when he broke his hand. And never seen him go to the doctor. Not one time. Still, to this day, never went to the doctor. And it's genuinely because deep down, he's scared. He's scared to go to the doctor.
Wow. Yeah, I know.
So it's on the outside.
If you're watching this, we need
Papa
you to,
Miles, come on,
we need you to go be tough, man. No, just kidding, man. Just kidding. If you're watching this, don't kick my ass.
Much love, Dad.
But anyways, I do want to talk about overcoming procrastination, because that's really one of the biggest things that comes to us with mental health issues. Me personally, obviously with ADHD, it's like second nature to procrastinate stuff. And for whatever reasons, coping mechanism, mood instability, it's you know, there's different things that could always be done. But I guess before I go into that, I want to ask you, how do you think bipolar disorder can result in mood swings, energy level making it challenging to stay motivated throughout your entire day?
So for me, I try to avoid tasks that aren't basically what you were saying by taking the most important thing on my list and kind of chunking it down that way. That's kind of like the only real thing that I've found that works is by having a to-do list or having some type of list. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I haven't really found anything else that works for me, you know?
Do you think that you avoid tasks due to fear of failure or criticism?
I would say, no, not too much for me. Not too much.
Really?
Yeah, I think I embrace failure a lot. Not failure, but because like to me, I only fail when I stop trying. You know, so as long as I'm trying, I don't feel. It's always a learning lesson.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I like that.
Absolutely.
You guys write that down. You only fail if you stop trying.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
But no, I definitely think that must be an ADHD thing then, because I don't think of it as failure, but I think of it as like, what if I do something and I get criticized? Like, what if we do the podcast and everyone is like, that is dumb. Like, that is not, like, I should, or not even that it's dumb, it's just that was done incorrectly. You missed some steps. You didn't try hard enough, or, you know, things like that. So it does make me a little nervous to kind of, you know, obviously take
to
that
fail,
forward.
especially in public, right? To fail, like, failing in private is a little bit easier than failing in front of a stage, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, even like to put something together and show you, you know, as personal as we can get.
Yeah.
If I were to show you something and you would be like, yeah, that's not as good as I have a vision. I'm thinking I'm excited, and your reaction is like, that's okay. You know?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I definitely do feel like I avoid those. I avoid doing the difficult or trying the difficult or trying to be creative or trying to be just trying to get the job done, when in reality I can make a song. I know how to make a song.
Yeah.
I just haven't because I'm scared of it. I'm scared of...
That's powerful for sure. Yeah, that's powerful. I think that is an ADHD thing because, like I was saying, I genuinely don't have that fear. I don't think I have ADHD to the extent that you do. I mean, obviously, I have, like, you know, I get off task pretty easily or what have you. But for the most part, I'm able to hone in on things, especially if it's something that sparks my interest, like the podcast, for instance, or whatever. But yeah, dude, I'm really able to focus on things like that. So that is interesting, though, to hear that. Yeah. You know, for sure.
No, I definitely think it's the procrastination allows me to cope.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
It allows me to cope with pushing things off and alleviate uncomfortable emotions or stressors. But it's really only pushing off and causing more stressors to pile up. You know, I end up there, and it's really just, it's difficult. But now that we've spoke about the personal and professional challenges that arise due to mental health issues, and what challenges, I guess I want to ask you, what challenges might arise in a relationship due to issues with ADHD or bipolar disorder?
Right. So speaking from a bipolar perspective, I definitely think that the lack of communication doesn't help. So someone like me who has these high highs and low lows, literally anything can trigger that, especially being in a relationship. And I feel like by going untreated, it made it that much harder for me to realize, because, like, to me, I'm thinking like, oh, well, like, you're crazy, but in all actuality, I'm the crazy one. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I shouldn't let something so small or so minor affect my entire mood, right? It should literally just be like, oh, like, yeah, that's fine, whatever, like, blow it off. But so that's something that I really have opened my eyes up to lately, and kind of realized, self-reflected, and yeah. So I think mastering yourself is the most important thing before you step into a relationship, because, like, the whole saying goes, like, how are you gonna love me if I can't love myself, right? So that's pretty impactful. It's pretty true, actually. And whether it's medication, whether it's if you're able to do it on your own, if you're able to
Yeah.
However you have to deal with it, mastering yourself, loving yourself, doing everything for yourself first before you can,
I really think that just goes back into when you don't realize what you have, when you don't address the issue at hand, when you don't talk to yourself about what you really have going on. Then you never actually admit it to yourself. You never actually accept, like that the first level of recovery is acceptance. You never actually accept the fact, because you're like, I'm good. I don't have I don't have an issue focusing on stuff. I don't have an issue on. Yeah. So you never really actually visualize that and communicate that with your partner. So it does create that communication issues. They're wondering why you're acting a nut. You're wondering why they're not doing what you're saying. Yep. You're wondering why everything's not matching up.
And the whole time you don't want to be like, well, my mom told me I'm bipolar my whole life, so maybe that's why. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like so. But a couple points here like that. I feel like actually relate to that. So communication issues. That's a huge one.
Right.
Inattention and forgetfulness. Like, not being present in your mind and in your relationship.
I did that a lot.
Yeah. Mood instability. So that's a huge one.
I did a lot of the inattention and forgetfulness in my previous relationship. Not gonna lie, we would talk about things, and she would ask me about certain things, and I would, unintentionally, just not really know what I'm even conversating about, and I would just answer her. And I hope she's not watching this now, because no, she's gonna know that I wasn't actually listening. But it's not my.
I'm sure she already knows.
It's not my fault though. If you are listening,
It wasn't my fault.
I have ADHD really bad, and I'm realizing that.
Yeah.
Now that I have a sober mind, now that I have these clear intentions, now that I'm working towards my effective progress, I'm realizing that there's actually a problem here.
That's crazy, because you have to eliminate all these other factors before you can actually establish, like, oh, I do have a problem. Like, for me, like, eliminating, like, the whole partying and bad eating habits, bad sleeping habits, like, trying to really dial in everything else, and then realizing throughout this process, wow, like, this is something that I've been dealing with for a long time, and it's not, like, because it's so easy to sedate myself. It's so easy to just, if I'm not feeling good this day, or if I'm not feeling, just drink, like, it's so easy.
I'm not the problem. Everybody else is the problem. Damn it.
It's so easy, dude. And I don't want to end up like that crazy old homeless dude on the corner, drunk, screaming at everybody. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be a miserable person. I just want to be happy and live my life and have good people around me, dude. And but no, for sure that plays a huge factor in it.
It's putting that perspective into reality and accepting and really just accepting. Yeah. So and I feel bad that I have this issue, and I'm working on it. I'm definitely working on it. If you are out there and you are listening, I'm working on it.
Please come back.
No, but I do think that bipolar can create mood instability, from what I've gathered. What do you think? How do you think that affects your relationships, or has it affected your relationships?
My mood instability, yeah, exactly. It makes it hard for my partner to gauge, like, oh, if I tell him something, like, is he going to overreact, underreact, or just be chill about it, So it's like...
You're just a fucking ticking time bomb, huh?
Yeah.
Damn.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, I completely get it. It's tough, and for anybody that has dealt with us in the past, or anybody that has had to deal with someone in bipolar... or dealt with somebody that has bipolar disorder or anything like that, maybe these are things to take into consideration. If you have bipolar, take into consideration how you're going to be more affected towards your partner. But for me, I definitely feel like I am very impulsive. When it comes to a Friday night, I have nothing planned. That's really the most sound and organized and responsible way to go about anything is to plan it a week or 2 weeks in advance. Not to be like, it's the day of, I'm going to go and jump on this. And I'm going to go drive 2 hours away to be a part of whatever activity is happening today.
And if anybody knows Michael, that's Michael.
Yeah. I'm a bit crazy. I'm sorry. If you're watching this still, but
let it go, bud. Let her go. No, I'm just joking. But
literally, no, but I do have that issue to where obviously it trickled into my last relationship as well. I'd want to go do something, and it's in my mind like, okay, today's the day, or not even today's the day. It's like
totally justifiable, huh?
in my mind for some reason, yeah. And I'm gonna go and jump on, and I'm already halfway. I'm already two steps in the door into doing it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm telling my partner, my girlfriend, to get ready. She's coming with me. And
obviously, huh?
Yeah,
she's like, dude, what?
What are you talking about? Like, yeah, in an hour or two, we'll be there. Like, I need at least 3 hours to get ready. What are you talking about? And I'm like, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'll see you later then, huh?
Yeah. And I do feel bad, and I wish I could give more back and more communicate more on that. And that's I hope that me realizing this will help me work on these things and help.
Sorry to cut you off, but that's a beautiful thing is you can never go back and do it better. All you can do is realize where you messed up and improve for the next time, right? Yeah. Like but don't just realize and be like, oh, okay, whatever. No, like actually feel that. Try to put yourself in their shoes and be like, yeah, that's not a good thing to do, you know? Like I shouldn't be speaking to that person like that, or like for my instance, or like whatever, you know? Like I shouldn't be so quick to just like start a fight or whatever, you know. And so that's been a big thing is kind of trying to see things from their shoes and be
their
like,
intentions don't align with my impulsivity. So
yeah. So it's they're the problem.
Yeah, they have planned their day, and I'm telling them let's go do something else, and they're not matching up with that. Yeah. So that pisses me off.
Yeah, absolutely. What a selfish way to think, though. You know, like for sure.
Yeah, and I think moving on from that, emotional instability. That's kind of goes into the mood instability, but you know, do you feel like your emotions, obviously, the spike in your emotions really?
Yeah, no, it plays a factor for sure. That's the hardest part is just staying consistent, you know. And it's like I've said, it's easier for me to stay consistent nowadays because like I was in a relationship for 4 years, 3.5 years. Two like long-term relationships, so it's like that whole entire time I never like self-reflected and I never like really tried to become better. It's not until like I get out of that and I can reflect and be like, okay, why didn't this work? Oh, maybe I am at least part of the problem, you know, and then go from there. And so that's literally only happened within recent time is that I've been able to
self-reflection. I mean, when you're able to self-reflect is when you have the most answers.
Yeah.
Is when you have the most in a clear self-reflection. Not like I'm gonna go self-reflect with Don Julio, you know? Like I'm not.
No. For me, it's been self-reflection and prayer. Praying a lot. I've been praying a lot more than I ever have in my life, and yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Damn. I never thought I'd hear Jake Baker say something like that, but it's good. I have experienced him and seeing him going more into this faithful path and righteous path, if I should say so myself.
Brother. Oh, yeah.
I like that a lot. I like that you're holding true to that value, and that really is going to hold true to your standards and it's going to make you more valuable. And it's obviously you're not going to want to give up on your drinking challenge. You're not going to want to give up on becoming more more productive and self-improve because you have the value of a higher power.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I genuinely feel like that's where people go wrong a lot of times is they try and put the power into their own hands, and it's like, so if you fail, it's like you're the only one to blame, really, and which is like actually true in a sense, you know, because we have all the tools necessary to either succeed or fail. So if you fail, it's all on you. But putting that faith into something else other than yourself, it takes more faith to not believe in a higher power than it does to just believe, you know, like it takes more energy. I meant to say, it takes more energy to not believe and to come up with all these reasons why not to than to just believe in something. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be, you know, Christianity, Muslim, whatever. But just believing in a higher power, like we're like minuscule compared to like a lot, you know.
Definitely.
But
definitely,
yeah.
So, you know, we kind of went off on tangent on
Sorry
that one,
about that,
but
guys.
no,
Sorry about that.
it's I'm really proud of Jake for moving in that direction, and it says a lot. It speaks volumes, especially with our self-improvement, our levels of self-improvement here. But I do also want to talk about the stress and conflict that mental health issues can create in a relationship. When you're obviously when we're in relationships, things tend to get heated, regardless, inevitably almost. Things, you'll have a bad conversation, you'll have a disagreement of some sort. Now your control of your emotion and your stress really reflects what kind of conflict it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think your stress levels and the triggers of bipolar, the bipolar disorders that or symptoms you've experienced have created more of a conflict than could have or should have been?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. It's almost like I didn't have no real way to manage my stress because I was always... It's like being in fight or flight mode, kind of, I guess is the way to describe it, you know? It's like I'm either ready to fight or ready to walk away, like just never nothing in between, like but just realizing that it's been huge, trying to find other ways of dealing with stress because, like I said before, I've always just sedated. If drinking alcohol, smoking weed, smoking nicotine, just anything to make my mind feel better, I've participated in it, and so just trying to get away from that and manage my stress in a more healthy, like appropriate way, you know, that coincides with my like lifestyle.
Definitely. Yeah, no,
what about you? Do you think that stress, like...
I think my own stress levels have caused me to be more reactive in situations that I can be a little more understanding.
Chill, yeah, for sure.
And a little more open and a little bit more, I guess, communicative. In a relationship, there's no reason why two people should get in such a heated argument that they start to really use high tones of voice, even start to yell at each other, start to even cause any other type of pain or damage. It's not necessary. I mean, people should just walk away.
Breaking your character, if you think about it, you wouldn't act like that in the grocery store. At least I would hope not.
Yeah. And I mean, you wouldn't act like that with a stranger or a friend. I mean, maybe with a stranger or a friend, but like in reality, there's things you love this person.
Yeah.
So called. I mean, why not give it more of a chance? Why not give it more room to breathe? Why not let the conflict roll itself out rather than pressuring the conflict to explode?
And this is obviously off tangent a little bit, but I genuinely feel like from a young age, we're not given those tools, especially if you're not born into a family that like is prepared to teach you how to do these things. We're just figuring it out, dude, as we go. But like, if you think about it, they should be setting these things up, like how to deal with your emotions, how to master yourself, how to, instead of just letting us go out there in the world blindly. That's how people end up in prison. That's how people end up committing suicide, killing other people, like
unhealthy mental health habits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unable to control their own emotions or even communicate what their emotions are, and feeling frustrated because they have certain feelings that are causing them distress, and there's no one to talk to about it or no one to understand. And
especially for men, like obviously I know men and women, we're all the same and whatnot, but dude, like no man that I know even wants to talk about, like, nobody wants to talk about it, and it's very sad because like I feel like men feel it just as hard, if not sometimes harder.
Definitely.
Especially because you can't talk about it. You can't just it's pretty crazy, bro.
It's impertinent. It's very important for us to navigate these challenges by open communication, empathy for the other person, for our partners, and mental support from both ends, really. Yeah. So, I mean, if there are more issues, I definitely, would consider seeking help, counseling, or even just trying to give each other a little bit more room to provide tools and strategies to strengthen the relationship and address specific issues.
Oh, yeah.
But I do want to kind of go over a little bit of what we talked about today, and I definitely want to hear more of your feedback from you guys. I want to hear what you guys think about ADHD, bipolar disorder, if ADHD medication is something you guys have, dabbled in or anything, you have known anything about it.
If you recommend it.
I can definitely use the help on that. I don't know which direction to go in. I've told myself that I might try it just to see if it's actually going to help me improve and focus, or I'm going to continue trying my priority list. I'm going to continue trying to chunk things down into smaller tasks to reach my certain goals. I definitely would love to hear more feedback from you guys. If you guys have anything about bipolar disorder and whether you believe the chemical imbalance is within ourselves and something we can alleviate through medication, or if you think that there are tools and resources that someone with bipolar can utilize to better understand themselves, to better operate and be more productive and stand on business more.
Yeah. Please let us know in the comments.
Definitely.
Reach out in a message, direct message. We want to engage with you guys as much as possible. So please, reach out.
Definitely. And I do want to also just bring up the point of communicating these things with your family, your friends, yourself. As a man, if you need to talk with somebody, definitely talk. Let it out. Talk about these things and let your fellow companions know. If you have a team, if you have a group chat, friends of any sort, find the one that you think you could talk to about your mental health and communicate that.
And if you don't have friends that you feel like you can't talk to about that, find better friends.
You can call Jake.
I'll talk to you in the face, big dog. What's up?
But also communicating with your partner in a relationship and staying, transparent and being able to, I guess, build a foundation of trust and letting them know what you're going through and communicating these things rather than letting them go unnoticed and ultimately causing frustration.
Yeah, because that's what happens. You bottle it up, and then one day it's going to all come out, dude. So
yeah, definitely keep standing on business, everybody.
Yeah.
Remember to stay active, self-improve every day, 1% better.
Yep.
We're going to keep doing our best. We really appreciate you guys for hanging out with us and checking out all of our episodes. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. Check us out a little later. Check out the content we have coming. And just share some love. Share the community. Share it with other people. We'd love to hear more feedback. I definitely want to get with Whitney after the show. We'll definitely talk. I want to hear more about this ADHD medication.
Yeah, we're going to hop on a call with you, Whitney.
Definitely.
Hop on a phone call. But, yeah, guys, lock into reality. Let's go.
Other than that, this is Standing on Business. I'm Michael.
I'm Jake Baker. Let's go.
Much love.